everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us back-to-back weeks, Brad Ellis.
Hey, how you doing, Kyle? Got some people in your house. I'm scared out.
Michael Damiani.
Beetlejuice. Just two more, baby. Just two more.
Brandon Jones.
You're the moderator with the most, baby.
You know what? We're not doing goals. No goals. No goals this week. Yes. No goals.
It's a week later. People are like,
just
what?
Say 2 more times, Kyle. Come on.
That? No goals. You know, this is a love and respect only episode. We did shoot this 1 week ago from the week that you were listening to it. And so what this is, we had people submit love and respect comments to us on patreon.com/easyallies, and we just have a bunch, and we are going to read through these questions. We're going to talk about video games, we're going to laugh about video games, and we're going to, we're going to be thoughtful about video games too.
Right.
But before any of that, we need to hear a song.
Right. Well, Brad's goal last week was to say something as Beetlejuice, and that's what that was. I don't want to alienate someone immediately at the beginning of the podcast.
I'm trying not to alienate people. Please don't leave. Please.
Yeah, stick around.
We know this is your first episode. Listen, this is a podcast in which normally it starts with like 5 minutes of Beetlejuice impressions. We're not going to do that anymore. This is episode 68, right? We're not going to do it anymore. We're done with that. Okay.
Say my name 2 more times. We'll be doing it.
Yeah. It's time for love and respect.
Love and respect. Oh, no. How dare you?
The bits. So actually, I want to start with one that I think might drive us into an actual video game discussion. I'd like to
Actual.
I don't want the episode to be too fluffy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think it's easy to say like, oh, this is a filler episode, fluffy, but like we should start with one. I don't know, that gets us into a zone where we're at least trying to.
Let's get in the zone.
Maybe not newsworthy, but topical.
No, sorry, not topical, Jones.
Just in the gears are grinding.
But we're working. Some of these will be silly. Some of these will be fun, like games and things like that, and be creative and things like that. But let's talk about video games for a second. Hey, allies. I've been a gamer for a long time, but I honestly don't think I've ever purchased a brand new $60 game aside from Madden.
Nice.
I consider myself to be a very frugal gamer. I usually don't pay more than $10 to $20 for a game, and I almost always buy used. Recently, though, I have begun to doubt the morality of my cheapness. I've often heard the term vote with your wallet, but I'm worried I am accidentally for the wrong thing and don't want to hurt any developers with my unwillingness to pay for a full-price game. For example, I think Resident Evil 7 looks amazing and I would love to play it, but I simply don't want to pay $60 for a game when I could buy 3 or 4 great games from the past few years for the same price, especially when a game like RE7 is only around 10 hours long. I understand that buying a used game often sees no revenue go to the developer/publisher, but hey, it's cheaper for me. So my question is, what responsibility do gamers have to buy fully priced new games when cheaper alternatives are already available? Am I a scummy gamer hurting the industry for buying used games months after release and rarely ever spending $60? Appreciate simply reading my question. Love and respect, Evan. Boom.
If you don't want to spend $60 on a game, you could still buy games new just way later when they're cheaper.
Yeah.
And that money will go to the developer still. Mm-hmm. Just make sure it's actually new and they're not just trying to sell you a used one like GameStop does sometimes.
What's up, Damiani?
I want to make sure I get this right.
Yeah.
Like when a store in GameStop gets their inventory,
Yeah.
they've already paid for those copies.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you buy a new copy from a retailer.
Yeah.
That money isn't going to the developer. It's just you're selling, you're paying for one of the copies that the store purchased in advance. So as long by buying new, it's helping on GameStop's return, and it instills confidence in them. Like, hey, we sold out of all these games that we bought. In fact, we didn't order enough. So like, oh, we'll go back to that publisher next time, pay them, buy even more because it's more. I think it's more forward paying with that. Whereas like buying from like Steam or something directly or from
digital,
yeah, sometimes can actually go toward like they get a cut of that, so you are actually supporting the developer directly.
Because it cuts out the middleman.
Yes, I think physical, digital,
Steam is a middleman.
It kind of matters. Basically, I want to say like don't feel so guilty, especially buying physical copies, that your purchase isn't going to directly supporting it, because I think some of that is drummed up a little bit too much. As a means to make you feel bad about buying a used game. I think publishers are trying to do it because they care about money. Like, I know there are like times where it's like, oh, we might go out of business or something because we didn't get enough support for the game. But you not having bought that copy new was not the reason why they went out of business. I don't buy that. Like, I really don't believe that was the reason why. So I want to tell this person, like, don't feel bad about what you're doing whatsoever. As long as you're buying them legitimately, you know, from like an actual like retailer and stuff. It's like, you know, piracy is the thing that probably like hurts them. Like, you could argue hurts them more. It's a whole other story. But like, if you're paying for it, you're doing the right thing. You're buying the game. You're fine.
Yeah, you're not doing anything illegal.
Don't worry about that.
But the thing is about paying with your wallet. Let's say, hey, it's cool that RE7 is doing this. It's cool that Capcom's willing to go first person and do this weird game that's not like RE6. Jones, is hurting the game if a lot of people are saying, you know what, I gotta wait till it's cheaper though.
I mean, it is, but to me, one thing that was really interesting that he brought up was he's like, I mean, except for Madden. It's like, oh, well, what?
That's what I love. I love that too.
What's Madden doing? You know, like, clearly Madden did enough. Clearly Madden is as important to him. Yeah. And so I think it's on all of these publishers and developers going out there trying to find their audience to make it worth their while, to try to tell you, like, this is a game that's important to you that you should play, should pay full price for. So if they haven't convinced you, that's on them, you know? You need to manage your money, you know, and that's one of the hardest things, I think, for me as a reviewer that gets a lot of stuff for free, to really like step out of my brain and be like, okay, wait, no, like, is this actually worth that? Because it gets kind of tricky when stuff is packaged together, you know, and like you buy like, oh, the better version and you get this thing included in it, or like a cheaper version and you don't get as much. So yeah, I don't point my finger at people like that and blame them.
It's like with free to play games. You shouldn't feel guilty if you're not buying microtransactions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the kind of thing, and this sounds bad, just let the whales handle it. You know what I mean? You can buy those games used, and that's fine. Like, let the whales buy the game. Let the people who it's not a big deal for buy that game. I feel two ways about this, because I do think it is illogical to buy a game when it comes out, because the prices go down so fast.
Well, it just depends how badly you want to play it.
Yeah, if I'm an Android, I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Why would you buy that game the day it comes out?
It's like, why go see a movie then? Just wait for it to come out and rent it.
Yeah, and so that's the thing, is it comes down to feelings.
Yeah.
And is that feeling ever worth it to you? And that's all you can say.
I think this is more important to really small publishers, though. Maybe like Xseed and NIS, stuff like that. Like, they really need those early adopters.
That's why they make such cool physical editions.
Yeah.
For the types of games.
That's true.
Absolutely,
yeah.
When you first started reading that question, I was impressed. When we first started saying, like, I am, I'm very frugal when it comes to gaming. Like, I can wait. It's like, wow, that's awesome. A lot of times I cannot do it. And so you should pat yourself on the back that you're actually, like, you don't fall for a lot of these tactics of people being like, no, it's this weekend or nothing. Yeah. And you're like, it's fine, I can play later. But I think one of the other things too that you kind of brought up that I think is less prevalent with, $60 and above games, but I think does come into free to play, is that, like, if you're playing a free to play game and you're not buying into the microtransactions, you're still playing. If it's a multiplayer game, you're still offering yourself as a person that can be queued into matches, that increases the chance that people will have someone to play with. You're still, upping their numbers of, hey, look how many players are playing our free-to-play game. And I think even if you are going to play Resident Evil 7 and only play that for $10 later, if you stream it, if you're vocal about it, if you tweet about it, if you tell your friends about it, like, all of that is contributing. Like, all of that, even you just engaging in the game itself and enjoying it and saying good things about it, is increasing the stock of that game.
Yeah.
So there are ways to contribute to a game other than financially.
Yeah, I love that.
If it's important to you.
I think that's true. Do not be concerned, please. Here's another fun one. Okay, here we go. Oh, this one's nasty. Okay.
Here's a fun one?
Yeah, this is a fun one. Hey, allies. I have some lingering thoughts from E3 that I still want to address. BioWare has lost all their ambition. I don't say this with the intent to put down Anthem or even imply that I won't play it when it comes out, but I can't help but be disappointed. There was a time where a new BioWare IP was a huge deal. There was a time when BioWare strove to change games with their stories like no one else in the business was even thinking about doing. Knights of the Old Republic, Mass Effect, and Dragon Age to a certain extent. No matter how you felt about the actual game that was released, felt so ambitious and fresh. It made you wonder how this could possibly be a video game. BioWare used to want to wow us. but now they seem content to copy other games and wallow in mediocrity. I say this because I love BioWare, and I guess this isn't really a question, but more an intervention for a loved one. Do you guys have the same disappointment in Anthem? Have you ever experienced this with another developer or creator or author that you love? Keep up the great work, guys. Love and respect, D. Brinson 98. Are we on the same page with Anthem, first of all? Do we see that and don't see ambition?
It's different. I'll recognize that. It feels different from stuff we're used to seeing BioWare do.
I mean, it feels different as we're seeing BioWare do.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like anything groundbreaking to me when I saw it.
So we
haven't seen a lot of it yet, so I don't know, but I wasn't like blown away by it or anything. I was like, oh, cool. Third-person
When you mentioned story, it is interesting that like I know next to little about the story of Anthem, nor do I really care. Like to me, it was the underwater. Like it was when you flew jetpacking, I was like, oh, okay, I see what. And then when he dropped below the waves, I was like, oh, there's this whole cave under. Ooh, this is a pretty big game.
Yeah.
Like when the big monster showed up, it kind of had a little Evolve vibe to me. When the big thing fell over and crashed, felt kind of scripted. I think that was the moment where I was like, oh, okay, a little more freedom of movement than something like a Destiny has. Like, all right. But it usually story always first with BioWare. So it's interesting to show like gameplay first, frame rate first, like performance first.
I think that's the audience they're going for with that game, though.
Yeah,
like, they're clearly going for the Destiny audience.
They're going after that model for sure. For sure, that's going to be comparative against Destiny for its entire life.
If you look at something like Blizzard doing Overwatch, and that was totally out of left field.
Yeah.
But it's like kudos Blizzard that you're doing something different and weird and not like stuff you've done before. So it's a little rough, to crack the whip at BioWare, who's just trying something different.
Well, here's what was interesting is that the code name of, I'm not sure if this was the project, but the project that Casey Hudson was working on was called Dylan. The idea was, hey, let's make a video game that is the Bob Dylan of video games. I don't see that in Anthem. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that would be.
Like someone who mumbles a lot?
No, just like that all the games past it refer back to this one, and that people are always like remarking about that game for years and years, for decades beyond what that game accomplished.
So they just want to make a really good video game.
Yeah. Yeah, but like a game that's innovative, a game that is jaw-dropping, a game that does change the way that video games are perceived. I don't see that in Anthem. No. The thing is, I think Dee Brinson's being super mean about Anthem, but I see your point. That's the thing is I see
your point.
You're not wrong.
Especially if you're a big fan.
Yeah.
And it definitely does seem different from stuff that they've done. And I mean, even, I called out Blizzard, but it's like every time Blizzard goes into a different franchise, like Warcraft and StarCraft and Overwatch and Diablo are now they're all very different games. Like they cater to different audiences. Like you could be very into one type of Blizzard game.
I disagree
whereas
with that.
like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Knights, they're all not the same game, but very, 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 very similar setups with different characters and stories and themes and stuff like that. But the systems in place and kind of what you can expect from the size and the characters and their complexity and adding them to your party and following their storylines and
I see their choice. I think that Blizzard absolutely has a lot of overlap though between its franchises. I don't think they're entirely different audiences. But you're right in that BioWare's games have typically been RPGs where you have dialogue options. We've been able to say that, and I think we'll be able to say that about Anthem too. I bet we'll have dialogue options.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're right, we weren't sold the story at all with that trailer.
Yeah.
We were sold. It opened with dialogue. It opened with us getting a side quest, but that wasn't interesting. The character wasn't interesting who talked to us. The side quest wasn't interesting. I think the environment was kind of interesting. This marketplace, and she's seeing a huge thing above and things like that. I think that was interesting. I don't think it was groundbreaking.
No. It's like waiting for Kim. For more XP is not groundbreaking.
Yeah, exactly. Waiting for Kim. Damiani, do you ever see BioWare putting you in awe?
You mean going forward or ever?
Well, let's say with Anthem, and then let's say going forward.
Oh, Anthem? I mean, no.
Okay. All right.
I mean, the only time, if you want... When they made a Sonic game...
Yes.
Oh, the DS one?
Yes.
The RPG?
Yeah, Dark Brotherhood? What's it called?
I was also
something like that.
Are you Sonic Chronicles Brother Dark? Yeah, something like that. I was like, what the hell is going on here? But that was back when like BioWare can do no wrong. Like they're doing all these great things. Like, hey, it's crazy. Maybe it's what Sonic needs and stuff.
Yeah.
Turns out like Sonic's like really hard to work.
He's
with.
unsalvageable.
Like yeah, sometimes you just can't save that hedgehog. You just gotta move on from it.
Let him save himself.
How come we don't have any question about Sonic Forces, by the way? All right, go ahead, Damiani.
Sorry. I don't know. I feel like the Mass Effect games. I never got into Dragon Age games. But
Dragon Age 1 is real good.
Mass Effect games I really liked. I liked what they did there, but I kind of got the feeling that going into after I played 3, that oversight finally caught up with them. Like, they don't have the complete freedom to do like whatever they want. They're too valuable, and they're worth a lot of money, and their games are going to make a lot of money. So certain things need to be done in your games going forward in order to jive with our the EA system here to help us with our money making machine. Like,
and that's what Anthem is.
And
that
I
is
feel like
Anthem
is the culmination of like, hey, you can make this game, but it has to have the following things in it, because we've looked at the market out there with other similar games you're going to be competing with. You need to have this, you need to have this, you need to have this. Do that with your pedigree. People can accuse us all we want of not being original, but if it's better, no one will care. If it's a better game, people will come to our game, they'll play it, and we can all look back and laugh and like, what was this Anthem reveal? Like, it didn't look anything. It looked like Destiny. Come on, like, we'll be laughing when we have like all the numbers and stuff. Like, that's all they care about. It's the end thing.
Yeah,
I feel like,
and that's why I don't think it's the wrong decision. On EA's or even BioWare's.
I mean, I totally get why they do it.
It's the right game for them to make.
But at the same time, it's coming at the cost of like the feeling of innovation, and I see what they're going at. Like, back in their older games, they were able to do that because they were still trying to prove themselves. It was like, okay, wow, let's make here's Star Wars property. What can you do with this? Well, what can you make for us? Oh wow, Knights of the Old Republic. This is great. Oh yeah, that's great. Space series, Mass Effect, another one. Like, Dragon Age. Whoa, like these dialogue choices. Like, you guys are the master of this. Keep doing it. You know what you're doing. I think that was like the era of everyone's like, wow, like BioWare, this is like what they're doing and stuff. And now to see where they've arrived at, it's just like, what happened? Like, well, and I think what
you're saying is right, Damian. I think the stakes are too high. EA needs them too much for them to be Bob Dylan. It's just like, no, sorry, we want to have little indie concerts. Like, no. Sorry, we want to play only acoustic. No. We need you to make us a ton of money. But I do want to say before we end this conversation that there's a new Dragon Age coming.
Yeah.
Dragon Age is not dead. Dragon Age, the new one, might still be good. Jones, do you believe the new Dragon Age could not disappoint in the way that Inquisition did?
Potentially, yeah. I wonder if a ton of attention is... I wonder if a lot of shifts are happening within BioWare with Dragon Age following Andromeda, where they're like, we can't do that again. Or just kind of a reevaluation, because I think that the vibe that I got from Andromeda was that they just kind of came in, they were like, how long is this game taking? They're like, yeah, we need another year. They're like, well, you don't have it. And they're like, well, we're going to release a broken game. It's like, that's better than... That's more financially viable to us than waiting another year and paying also, you all to keep working on this game.
Andromeda was an ill-equipped team, and this is just a Dragon Age team making another Dragon Age. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of those Andromeda issues won't arise again. Hopefully. So
I think we're either going to hear that Dragon Age got canceled in 6 months, or when we see finally something from it, it's going to be not a departure, but it's going to seem a little wiser and more catering to their audience. And that's the other thing about Anthem, is that like part of me was proud when I first saw it, because it was like, okay, this seems like a potentially good way to recover from the fall of Mass Effect, and kind of how bitter and interesting. He didn't really mention Andromeda at all in that entry, kind of like that the sadness potentially going into E3 and then realizing, okay, well, this is different.
Yeah,
so I wonder if they really had gone story heavy on Anthem, and everyone's just kind of like chuckling to themselves, just like, here we go again, another sci-fi game that could be rushed out the door when it could be something really special.
This is the crazy thing. Before E3, I would promise you that the next Dragon Age would come out before Anthem. Do we think it's the other way around? Is Anthem coming out before the next Dragon Age?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Like, how long did Dragon Age take to come out when they announced Inquisition? I feel like it was years.
Yeah.
If we just got a CG trailer, I'd be skeptical.
Inquisition announcement to release, I feel like was 1 year.
I feel like it was a while.
That game came out
or was it
fast.
Mass Effect?
It was Mass Effect,
we heard about for a while.
Andromeda took forever.
Andromeda took
Inquisition
way
was almost like it was around like the second year of the PS4.
I feel like they talked about it at one E3, then they didn't show it until the next E3.
The Inquisition.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
That one, I think that one came out pretty fast, and I think there were effects of it, but also it came out at a great time for that game and was really popular.
Did people like that game? I don't remember.
DICE Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
It did not win a single other award.
Yeah.
Except Game of the Year.
It was Game Awards Game of the Year too.
Was it?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
And I never played it. I played 1 and 2 multiple times.
I played 3 hours of it.
It was frustrating. I think it won a lot of Game of the Years. Same year Mordor.
Weird year.
Weird year, and I think it was good timing for that for sure.
Yeah,
and it's the reason why that won a lot of Game of the Years. But anyway,
it was a step up from 2, so I was riding that hype.
Yeah. Evan, you're not crazy. You're not crazy to feel a lack of ambition coming out of that game.
Especially if you're a fan. If this company really is really important to you.
Mm-hmm.
We get it. We've all been there.
Like if GTA 5 was awful, I'd be like, and then it's like going into like a Red Dead or potentially in a GTA.
We're all Square fans. We know what it's like.
You're right.
We're just like, why?
Okay, let's transition into some fun ones. Here we go. Hi, allies.
Hi.
If there was one cartoon from your childhood that could get AAA treatment in gaming, what would it be? What type of game would it be? And what kind of art style? Imitation of the original or using all the bells and whistles available today? Love and respect, Paul. Jones, you seem locked and loaded, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude.
What do you got?
Arkham City, but the animated series. I mean, I've just
Jones.
Dude, I can't even tell you, man. I've just been watching the animated series again, and like it's I have to like force those thoughts out of my brain because every single time they go to a new location, every single time it's like Poison Ivy and Catwoman are just like, stalking out some place by the harbor. It's like there's another location. Knock that down on the list. Every time they go to somebody's apartment building or something, it's like there's another location. That's a place that exists. Clayface's wife has an apartment. It's there somewhere. Because like as much as I love the Arkham games, a lot of that was set dressing. A lot of the buildings were like, God, the building's gorgeous. Like I can't go in it. I can't interact with it anyway. But like, boy, it looks incredible. And dumbing down the graphics a little bit, going like Breath of the Wild style, where it's like this is not Horizon, like this is it's cell shaded, so it's not like it looks like the animated series, and we're not going any crazier than that. So we can make the map a little bit bigger. We can make the the interiors a little more detailed. We can.
It's a no-brainer, Jones.
Jones, that was a no-brainer. You got the question right.
Plus you can play as Batgirl and Nightwing. And,
yeah. Please.
I got 2 quick ones.
Oh, okay.
I would want.
It's not gonna be quick, Brad. I want you to explain these games.
Okay, so I want DuckTales 3D platformer.
Okay.
Like, look at Mario Odyssey. Make a DuckTales game like that. Tight control. Going through Duckburg, man, getting there, getting your treasure. Awesome.
3D platformer. Okay.
Yeah, and I want.
Can you play as Scrooge McDuck and bounce on your cane? Or is that?
Of course, you're playing Scrooge McDuck.
Okay, all right.
DuckTales? What?
I thought I was gonna be playing the Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
I mean, you can play Huey and Dewey and Louie.
Oh, okay.
But the other one I want is Speed Racer, kind of like the Burnout series.
Okay. So, one thing I like a lot about Speed Racer is that each race is like part of a cup, part of a season. Is that still involved in the Speed Racer game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Gotta have arcs.
Yeah. I want arcs.
Like, we need that big train car that just knocks all the cars off the road. We need that arc going on.
I don't remember much from the show, dude. I remember like his steering wheel had like a dozen buttons on it.
Yeah.
And he only pressed 1 or 2 per episode.
The jump one.
Yep.
The one that goes underwater a lot. He had the
saw.
He had
like a
the saw.
buzz
He had the
saw.
saw. He had the tank treads that he put on, and he had like a drone thing he would shoot out.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's weird.
Ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Damiani, what's your childhood show that you want turned into a video game?
Have an answer for you that it wasn't a popular show. I'm not going with a popular show. They've already done Ninja Turtles. They've already done Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
They've already done like every 90s show I can think of, except like some Nickelodeon stuff. But like, I was trying to think of like a Rugrats game. But like, no. I mean, they already made a Rugrats.
They had
game,
tons
like,
of Rugrats games.
Yeah,
They're
like,
all bad.
Yeah,
I don't
like
think they're all bad.
SpongeBob as well. It's like no,
Oh, okay.
but that's not me. That was my brother, the SpongeBob.
Some excellent
So it's like,
SpongeBob games out there.
What would make an
Excellent.
amazing if they had a AAA budget and I can do whatever I want with it and
Yeah.
lend itself good to a game? There was a short-lived animated show called Pro Stars,
Pro
which
Stars.
it was a animated show about Michael Jordan,
Whoa.
Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson as superheroes.
Whoa,
Like
I
they
remember
were
this.
they were athletes. They also had superheroes, and they fight like evil crime syndicates and
Is
stuff.
this real?
Yeah, Pro Stars.
Jones remembers it looks like.
Not when he said the name, but they're like, oh yeah, that's right. They
This
like
could've-
transform, like
They
they'd be in their
transform.
jerseys. And
So I want Platinum Games to make it like an action
Tell me about
comic
the
game.
enemies. What does Michael Jordan fight?
But like they need to make it like
robots
Yeah,
and
yeah,
ninjas
like
and stuff,
aliens, evil robots and stuff. It was like ridiculous stuff.
This couldn't have lasted more than 1 season. I've never heard of this
No, it
before.
was like one. Yeah, it was probably even
The
less than a
NFL did
season.
something like this a couple years back that the NFL actually got into and was advertising like during NFL games.
Whoa.
That was like some kids like NFL Force or something.
Pro Stars.
Just to have like Platinum Games make that with insane boss fights. So like you're like, Wayne Gretzky, the hockey stick, it turns into like a blade, like an actual weapon stuff. He transforms into like this,
he travels real fast too.
Gear and stuff, and he gets like super like speed, like mixing like Vanquish mechanics with like Revengeance,
sliding,
sliding and slashing up enemies.
Like the slow mo.
I'm just doing like MJ DPS with my 3-pointers in the back.
So let me ask you, Damiani, we're Michael Jordan in the game from that era? We're Michael Jordan in his prime.
I prefer it that way, but and realistically, probably have to be redone with new, like, modern superstar athletes.
Okay,
probably.
So who are you picking from the NFL?
Oh God, I'm not picking Tom Brady.
Thank you, Damiani. We're still.
Isn't he the GOAT though? Don't you have to have him?
No.
I don't know anything about football. I'm just trolling.
Who would I actually pick at this point from the NFL?
Tom Brady.
No.
The GOAT.
Wayne Brady. Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah, they're all the same. Brady's.
Jeez. Like,
Marsha Brady.
In NBA, everyone probably like tell you to pick LeBron James at this point, but then the people who get angry who would be like, "Why aren't you picking like Kevin Durant or?"
Yeah, let's put let's put Kevin Durant in it.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You're gonna put Kevin Durant in there.
Yeah, we're putting Kevin Durant in there.
No, it should be LeBron James.
Okay, so LeBron's in. Thank you, Damiani. I want LeBron in there.
So it had someone for hockey, but like Sidney Crosby is still like what, the best NHL player right now?
I don't know, man. I think hockey got replaced.
Penguins just I would say like hockey probably should get replaced by something else. Otherwise,
we're putting
him.
Faker in there instead. We're going esports.
Oh, we're gonna go esports. No, Kyle, we're not doing there. We're not doing that. Now you've killed my
Because
idea.
here's the thing,
no,
like Wayne Gretzky was huge. There's never been a Wayne Gretzky in hockey since Wayne Gretzky.
There's been some pretty good athletes, but yeah, nobody.
I'd argue there's never been a Michael Jordan in basketball even since Michael Jordan. It's like that crazy.
And like Lemieux was pretty good, isn't that?
Harry Lemieux was old.
But like everyone knew Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, you know what? It's got to be those
Everyone
three.
knows LeBron James.
That's true. I do know him.
Bryant.
Do you know Kobe Bryant? Yeah, you're right.
Kobe Bryant's huge.
Okay,
so just hockey.
They time travel. They go back in time. Mm-hmm. It's like in the in the 80s.
Yeah.
The portal opens up. They're thrown out into 2018.
Yeah, that's the twist. The twist is it's the modern like stars.
Yeah.
They go out. They find out find out the twist is a portal open, and Jordan, Jackson, and Gretzky are the villains this time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's also about taking down their legacy. It's also about what I just said. There is no Michael Jordan. There is no Wayne Gretzky. It's all about taking that down, and you can't. You cannot be Wayne Gretzky today. You'll never get that.
You just can't beat the game.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
There you go.
There we go. We got a concept.
What about you?
I don't know. I should have.
You didn't watch cartoons?
I pulled the questions. I like Damiani said, most cartoons have cool stuff. I guess if I'm gonna be like, I'm like thinking of like this is stupid. I thought of Pokemon. And obviously, there's a Pokemon video game, and it's based off the show's based off the game. But I want a game much more.
There's DuckTales game, there's Speed Racer game.
But no, Pokemon the show exists because of that game.
Oh,
and so for me to say I want a game based off that is absurd. Come on, Kyle, come on, man. So
just pick Tailspin and make it Just Cause.
Yeah, help me think of this. There's a weird show.
You know that'd be sick, Jones.
Well, Darkwing Duck. I mean, if I can have my Batman TIS game.
I've only seen like one or two episodes when I was at my grandmother's house where they shoot lasers out of their shoulders, and I was like, this show is so cool, and I never ever saw it again. So I've always been attracted to this idea. There's a little triangle on your shoulder. You shoot a laser out of it, and I've always thought of that. That thing stuck with me.
I don't know why you're looking at me, Brad.
You see one episode of one cartoon.
I don't know.
Right?
You're making a weird face, and it like matched up with what I was thinking.
So anyway, I want a game based off that show.
The shoulder
where
laser man.
Shoot lasers out of their shoulders.
That sounds like a game you'd make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, I can make it good. Trust me with this. Okay,
you do the wrong shoulder. You're like, I got you. Oh,
that's a good
it's the
question.
right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
More cartoon questions, please.
Yeah, it's such a fun question. Why couldn't I have a fun answer to that? I guess
I actually get sad thinking about that Batman game. That does not make me happy.
Oh, the potential.
It's never gonna happen.
That's
the right
so
answer
good.
straight out.
And I got a shocker for you.
Okay.
No campaign.
Huh?
No campaign.
Why?
No written campaign. It is procedurally generated.
Okay. No,
Somebody
I'm out.
breaks out of Arkham,
No,
go
I'm
get
out,
them.
dude. I'm out.
Somebody else broke out of Arkham, go get them too.
Yeah, but then the scenarios
There's no
probably won't be as
dialogue?
good
What
as
are
they
you
could be
talking
if they
about?
were actually like
That's
written
the-
out.
That's the challenge.
I don't want that.
Yeah, come on.
That
Jones.
sucks. I don't want to be fighting some thugs
if
robbing
you-
a bank
if you
30
write
times.
that campaign, I'm putting about 10 to 20 hours in, and then I'm done. If there's no campaign, it's procedurally generated.
Have both.
I'm playing that game.
Have
for,
procedurally
if you
generated
if,
stuff.
If you could have
and
both, great. But that's the
How many
that's the
bank
one I'm
robbers do you
excited
need
about.
to beat up, Jones?
Oh, I could
Like
do
robbing the
forever.
same bank
ever.
every 20 minutes.
That's Batman. That's his life. That's the test.
That's not. Oh my god. I get it. I kind of get the idea. You have to be a superhero.
Yeah.
That's what that game's about. Hello, allies. I heard that you don't get game over screen. You don't get a game over screen in Super Mario Odyssey. So does that mean there are no 1-ups? That seems an odd choice since the theme song is called 1-Up Girl / Boy. Wait, what? It's called 1-Up Girl. I think that's what the name of the song.
No, it's not.
What's it called?
It's called something else.
Oh, there's a lyric where she says, "I'll be your 1-Up Girl."
Yeah, but the song is called something else, like something. Yeah, because chat was constantly like telling me that's not the name of the song, and I got angry and I said like, like literally everyone in existence is gonna call the song 1-Up Girl.
Yeah.
But they call it something else, like something superstar or whatever. The Japanese Twitter account.
Oh, you're my
tweeted it
superstar,
out.
maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a dumb joke in the comments. Sorry, not a judgment on your joke. I call lots of jokes dumb jokes. Anyway, and it is also a major change in Mario games history. Thoughts on it and similar ones done in other games. I'm not asking anything major changes like changing from 2D to 3D or changing genre. Just small things that we take for granted and the game is known for, such as items, tools, and so on. Thanks, love, and respect. Cheers you, Angie. Is it a problem? Is it a problem that we're gonna play through this game, Mario Odyssey, no game over ever? You're never gonna get a game over in that game.
Barely get game overs in regular 3D Marios.
And
if you do, you just restart the level.
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
Are stakes removed?
I don't know.
Does it have stakes if you're never gonna run to zero lives?
I like the idea of using the coins to buy stuff, so that does kind of add a little stakes.
Because you lose your coins when
Correct,
you die.
but I don't know how the economy or whatever.
You lose some coins. Sorry, you don't lose all your coins. It's not Dark Souls. You don't lose all your coins. You lose.
I've yet to play a Mario game where getting 1-ups is hard.
Yeah,
It's a task
Jones,
that you have to do.
When you and I played through Mario 3,
it's a 3D game. 3D game.
yeah, but we were on our last life, and that meant something.
Yeah, because it's an old Nintendo game.
Yeah.
We're talking 3D Mario games.
We won't have that feeling when we play through Odyssey. We won't have, I'm down to my last life. This is meaningful.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that a problem?
But the game over wasn't like game over, we cannot play this game anymore at all. It's like you just gotta go far back
and sucks.
try again.
Yeah, that sucks. That's what made us have those high stakes when we got to that point.
But it also does suck. So it's the question of like, do you want people to be mad and pissed while they're playing this Mario game, or do you want to accept the fact that like I'm all they're doing is just going to go over this other little hurdle to get a couple more lives, to do a little more grunt work before they go into this area, and then they'll be a little bit more prepared. Okay,
Jones, life
versus like I'm just going to challenge you at every stage, and if you lose, you go back to a point to try that little mini challenge again.
Life has meaning because of death, Jones.
Does Shovel Knight not have stakes for you?
Shovel Knight's got game over, right?
No, you just lose money.
There's no lives in Dark Souls.
I love Shovel Knight, actually. Shovel Knight
Dark Souls
does a great
doesn't
job
have
with
lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. You just lose souls.
It's a challenging game.
That is an archaic thing, Kyle. It's from the arcade. I know we get this a lot. Everyone tries to throw here comes the incoming correction. It was not from the arcade era. It's like game overs and stuff like that. Like lives are designed to make you pump more quarters into the machines. Yes, during the old NES, Super Nintendo days, Genesis days, you could get a game over. It could send you back to the beginning of the game. But as time has moved on, like game overs have become more and more meaningless. I think even 2 generations ago, there would be articles written by like sites saying, why do game overs even exist anymore when like the most they do is send you back to the start of a current level? How many games, unless you forgot to save or turned off auto-saving, send you to the very beginning of the whole game again to start off from scratch? And you know what? I even pointed it out to you, Kyle, even as early as Super Mario Brothers.
Stop pointing at me.
Super Mario Brothers.
Stop pointing
the
at me.
original Super Mario Brothers had a sort of a flash memory save thing. If you died on a world, like World 8, you could start back at 8-1. You did not go back to 1-1.
No, it did not.
Yes, we did. I proved it.
You proved that to me?
I did it on a stream for everyone because I was like, Kyle doubted this.
I don't believe that.
So I did it in front of everyone.
Check the tape. The shelf life on his believing you is only a couple years.
You hold down A button and press start, and then when you beat the game, you actually push B to toggle which world you go to as well.
Whoa.
Yeah. So even that's why I don't believe that argument, because like there were ways even in the early days to like circumvent that stuff for the home console, because they knew like, okay, you bought the game, you have the right to it. That's why cheat codes started to happen and stuff. So too long didn't read. It is an archaic mechanic that really you can achieve the same kind of tension that was supposed to elicit through other means other than like a game over.
Yeah, and I think that's what we talked about. I think that's what
Shovel
Shovel
Knight
Knight does. I think
Souls
that's what
games.
Souls
Like,
does. Yeah.
Seriously.
And I think Mario's doing that. I think it's doing that with its currency, with its coins. It makes its coins matter more than I think coins ever have.
I think game overs added longevity to a game too, because games were a lot shorter back then, a lot shorter.
Yep.
So they don't want you beating it in one sit through and just be like, oh, that's it.
Yep. And now we have DLC for that.
Yep. That's right.
That's how you add longevity.
Yep.
Just buy it. Cool. That was fun. I was listening to everything the panel was saying, but I finally thought of the cartoon. Beast Wars. Here we go, baby.
Ooh.
So,
Oh god.
yeah, the thing is, I love that Beast Wars is about a war of attrition, and you could probably say about the Transformers animated series as well. But I mean, there are PS1 Beast Wars games. They're not what I want. I want this war of attrition. I wanted to have a goal of the Predacons need to be stopped. And kind of like your Batman idea, Jones, where like the entire game is just about pushing and pushing and pushing into this, and maybe swaying some of them. Maybe Dinobot is like, you know what, I kind of like you guys.
You
and
want
like,
dialogue tree?
Oh yeah, baby.
Renegade
Yeah, baby. And
or
you know
Paragon?
what? Let me be the Predacons. Let me see, like, you know what? If I get to be Megatron and just take over I forget what the Autobots are called in that.
I don't know, dude.
Maximals?
I don't remember.
Maximals, yes. They're called Maximals. If I want to take down the Maximals, yeah, absolutely. But it won't be easy. I need recon on their base. And I need to, like, take them, I need to make them separate and hate each other. And so stupid ideas, stupid plot lines from the show.
So you want, like, the Nemesis system in this?
Yeah, I guess so, Brad, because that is kind of how the shows work, is, oh, you killed me, but I'll get you back. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
remember you, Optimus.
yeah, I've learned more about you, Optimus. And so it's
Optimus,
that. And yeah,
yeah.
so Brad, I think it's that. I think there's
Okay.
just kind of nemesis system in that. And
Hey.
just this limited base of characters who are just killing each other constantly,
Dude.
but we make progress throughout
Any game
that.
you could be a robot gorilla.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Crap.
What?
No, you just reminded me of something that
What do
I
you
was
got?
trying to think of.
What's
Pro
yours?
Stars was my backup.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
What's
got
your
it.
primary? What you got?
Dino Riders.
What is
Dino
Dino?
Riders, dude!
Platinum's Dino Riders.
Why is it always platinum?
What? Platinum?
Okay, you probably envision like a Battlefront style game, like for
Yes! What are you talking about? You gonna have like the Stegosaurus like spinning around like Bayonetta? Of course it's a Battlefront type game.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It has to be.
So I'm thinking of the toys, and now I realize there's a show based off the toys.
Dude, oh
there are
my God, the
dinosaurs that have
toys.
seats and like laser guns on them, right?
Yeah, the villain rode a T-Rex.
Yeah.
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 I'll get you, Dino Riders. Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, that's fun.
It was the Claw voice actor, I think, from
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget.
Same guy, huh?
Yeah.
I'll get you.
He was killing it then.
Dude, that intro is so good for the first
Making money.
episode. They're like a freaking like a museum and stuff, and it's like this cool stencil effect drawn over live
Yes.
actors.
Wow. Yes.
And then it comes to life.
Damiani,
Heavy metal style, huh?
I still have Dino Rider toys.
Whoa.
Still got some.
While we're talking about fun hypothetical video games, we're gonna play a game. Fun game for you guys. It's called Pitch It or Ditch It.
Cool.
Pretend you are big decision makers, and your time is your most valuable resource. I have 10 ideas to present to you, and you need to tell me if you want me to pitch it and go further in detail about the game, or ditch it. You have no interest, and you want me to shut up.
Okay. Cool.
Love and respect, Sean. Idea number 1, Zelda in space.
Is there DLC?
Yes, there's DLC.
Ship it.
Ship it? So the third option is just ship it. You know what? I don't need to hear
Just
I
make it,
I don't need to
ship
hear
it,
anymore. Okay,
Get
all right.
tons of amiibos.
So the game's called Pitch It, Ditch It, or Ship It.
Ship it.
Damiani?
Is Link's ship called Epona, and does he have an alien companion with him?
It's called Eponus,
Okay.
and he does have an alien companion, but it double crosses you halfway through the game, steals all your inventory.
Whoa.
Ditch it.
Oh! Jones.
I'm ready for the pitch on that one.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
It's got DLC. Just
I
ship
want to
it.
hear more.
A sequel to Deus Ex from 2000.
Pitch it.
Ooh.
You interested in hearing that, Jones?
Yeah. You can pitch that.
Yeah, isn't Invisible War sequel to that already?
Yeah.
It is. Sequel to Invisible War.
Are you ready to ditch it? No, it's a
They
sequel
already
to
did
Deus
it.
Ex.
They did it already.
Yeah.
It's Invisible War.
I kind of think ditch it is what
Ditch.
I was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
I think you're being too generous saying
All
ditch.
right.
I thought you were basically saying like go back to continue the story instead of doing the prequel
JC
stuff they're
Denton?
doing
Yeah.
now. So,
When
but if it's
Jason
specifically
Denton's
that game,
in
then yeah,
Invisible War.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of interesting
Yeah.
that takes place after.
it could also be a
Revolution, all
prequel to
that.
Invisible War, but that
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that story.
Okay. Nintendo collaborating with Rockstar to make a new Star Fox.
Ship it.
Ship it. You ready to go?
No.
And Jones doesn't want to hear a word of that.
No.
Where are you at, Brad?
You can pitch it to me.
Ship it.
You can pitch it.
All right, I'm glad we got one of each for that one. Halo reboot.
Oh, pitch it.
Yeah.
Pitch that.
Go on.
Ditch.
I'm ready.
Oh,
Too much sci-fi now. Ditch.
Sci-fi always sells, kid.
okay. I'll editorialize a little, and I'm setting expectations up super high on this one. This next one is the reason I picked this game. I love this idea.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed in 1980s New York City.
Oh, ship it. Ship it immediately. Ship it right now. Ship it to my face.
Yeah. Wait, what is taking you two so long?
I'm
so
thinking
long?
about it, and what it'd be like.
It's a no-brainer.
Dude, Assassin's Creed Vice City?
Yeah.
Dude.
Get out of here.
Miami's way different than New York City.
Yeah, but still
The
the
vibe's
80s.
so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1980 New York City's just grungy. It's nasty.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm thinking,
walking here, and you're just like,
just play Watch Dogs, man.
what's the matter with you? I'm walking here.
I mean, that's real funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pitch it.
Okay.
You can pitch it. Yeah.
Damiani, can I at least get a pitch?
I need to hear the pitch.
I'd love it too if they sold it, where they're like, because like every Assassin's Creed game, they're like, actually, this was a very pivotal,
Yeah.
age of the Assassins.
Yeah.
I love it. They're like, nothing really happened in the 80s. It's just, I mean, there were assassins in New York. That's it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Everyone rich
Chuck
and
it on that
cocaine.
was else running around too.
No, this is the pivotal
gotta
moment
eat,
that allows like the 90s takeover, the Disney takeover of New York City, of downtown, of Times Square, you know what I mean? So like it's actually the Assassins who really made that happen.
Oh, okay. Cleaned it up.
Yeah. You had to assassinate like scumbags, I guess. Just like, the guys who were selling the wrong kinds of drugs.
But you can also deal drugs yourself just to make a little money on the side.
Yeah,
just for the enterprise, just to build up
soft
the creed.
drugs. Soft drugs.
Yeah.
They're addictive.
God of War fighting game.
Yeah.
He's in Mortal Kombat already.
Oh,
No.
I'm hearing ditch it.
Ditch it.
Yeah, I'm done
Ditch
with
it.
this.
Add him as a DLC character to one of the existing fighting game franchises.
God of War kart racer.
Ooh, pitch that.
Yeah, okay,
listen.
I'll hear that one.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I'll listen to that.
I'm 100% on board
Because it
with you.
sounds so
hear
weird.
That's exactly. I was looking down this list and I'm thinking about what I was thinking of, and I'm like, no to fighting game, yes to kart racer.
Well, because you
Why?
got to make them cool in fighting game,
Yeah.
and it's like, to me, Kratos trumps everybody, and so it's just like any, like there's no character from that universe I would want to be
think
more
of
than
the,
Kratos.
Like the comedy when Kratos gets hit by Athena, like by a turtle shell.
oh yeah,
He has to shout. He has to, everyone shouts when they get hit by something. Curse you! Curse the Hades.
So yeah, it's like I would want to play as the weird characters in a kart game, whereas
Yeah.
I would only want to play Kratos in a fighting game.
Good point. I like that. Damiani, we didn't get an opinion on you on that one though. From you on that one.
Ditch it.
That's a ditch it.
He's
Okay.
ditching.
Far back from the legacy
Yeah.
can possibly.
That's a
All right,
ditch.
I like this one. Adventure from the Atari 2600 franchise reboot. In parentheses, will have Easter eggs.
I never played Adventure. I don't know.
I would
familiar with it.
need a pitch on this one.
Okay.
I'm not gonna turn it away, but
I don't know it. I don't know
don't-
what it is.
Oh, dude,
It's like one of the first like top-down
Ditch,
adventure games.
because
Oh, I missed like all the
you were a
Atari.
dot.
generic.
Yeah.
You were literally a pixel,
Yeah.
and you could like when you pick up objects, they would just be like
Man,
next
that's-
to you, and you'd like move
It just
around.
it kind of reminds me of when they started doing reboots of like shoot, I'm so sorry. What's you swing from vines above crocodiles? Pitfall. You know, like Pitfall's like, and we're here on the PlayStation
Pitfall
1,
had
baby.
some more personality at least.
Adventure's got
It's
personality.
got same looking. It's just different colored, same sprite or whatever it was for dragons. Bunch of mazes and the castles and keys. Like so many adventure.
worth hearing
so
a
many
pitch.
adventure RPG games have become it.
What was
Yeah,
the little pixel
sure.
kid? What was the kid where you were like a block, or then you could be the 8-bit version, or you could be the 16-bit version, or you could like.
Yeah. What is that?
That's like an interesting kind of
yeah,
pseudo
I
remake
forgot.
of Adventure.
Kind of. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 6.
Who's behind it?
I mean, no.
We're
yeah.
Konami. We're Konami.
Pitch it.
No, no.
no Kojima.
What do you
out.
got?
It's
It's our
hilarious.
biggest
Get out.
franchise.
Even Konami knows, like, no.
Throw it into space.
Don't even
Get
pitch
out.
that. Even Konami knows that.
I'm not
Picture
even
Dead
going to
Souls.
validate
Yeah.
your parking. Get out of my office.
Yeah.
Pitch me it.
Kirby mobile game.
I mean, pitch me it.
No.
Why not? Kirby's like doing weird stuff anyways. Canvas Curse, that's a weird
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. John, do you want to even hear it?
It couldn't be a platformer. Platformers on mobile are not good.
Doesn't have to be.
Damiani,
Right, but again,
interested.
You manage Dreamland, Jones.
But of all the things to manage, I'm not interested in managing Dreamland.
Not yet.
It could be a silly app, not a game.
You gotta hear the pitch.
You gotta hear my pitch.
You gotta hear the
You put
pitch.
Kirby's face up to items.
King DDD, come on.
Hey, lady, that's a nice looking pizza.
Yeah.
Okay,
Taxi.
this is fun. You know what? We're having a fun. Okay, actually, all right. So I'm gonna do a very serious, hard question.
You're like, we're having fun. So
And then
let's
we're gonna do
it.
another fun one.
Okay.
Okay.
We gotta bounce back.
Okay.
Because I love these hypothetical games. They're so fun to do. But let's do a hard question, hard hitting question.
Just FYI, just letting you know.
Oh my gosh, Jones, absolutely.
I mean, I don't hear it right now, but it could.
Yeah,
happen.
I don't either.
It could happen at any moment.
Oh wait, you know what?
What?
I do hear.
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah, I do. It sounds like it's podcast halftime.
I gotta get my ears checked. The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of July. El Fanis. Richard Smuts, who you can follow at Thraxis. Mango. Michael Kozachenko, who is producing video game long-form reviews on YouTube at youtube.com/MishaKoz. Hogue Law, I swear I shuffled these. Hogue Law business law firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Rick Hogue started Hogue Law to bring more than a decade of experience to companies like yours and is proud to support the Allies. Check them out at www.hoaglaw.com. Crediar. Iron Harvest, a real-time strategy game for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, currently in development at King Art Games. Join their community and help them bring the alternate reality of 1920 plus to life. iKeyless. Need a new car key or remote? iKeyless.com has been in the key replacement business since 2002. Check them out today and they can help save you up to 75% off of the dealership's prices. If you type in offer code EZA at checkout, you'll get 15% off of your order. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. You can ship that one as far as I'm concerned. Ship Scorn. Ship it now. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, Jones.
ready.
We're deep in the podcast.
Yeah.
We're pretty deep. Apologies, sponsors, for putting you deep. I get distracted by the mass of
It's an
questions.
unusual episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
Right. I pulled so many, and we're wrapping it up at this point.
Okay.
If you say so.
We are. Yeah, we are. Okay. All
Quitter.
right.
Jeez.
Okay, you know what? Well, I'll stick with the one that I was about to read, but I'll have to figure out.
Promise
what
at
to
least
do
two
after.
more.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are at least two more.
All right, good.
This is also the record for the shortest question ever submitted.
Ooh.
Nice.
This comes to us from Jade Upton. Crash or Spyro? Panel?
I missed them both. I've played more Crash, I
Pick
guess,
one.
than Spyro. I'll pick Crash.
Why?
Because I haven't even played Spyro. I just saw your goofy dragon walking around.
Why have you never played Spyro?
Because I was playing N64 platformers at the time, dude.
How many
And
of
if I'm
those? How many?
And if I'm playing on PS1, I'm playing JRPGs. That's what I was doing.
When have you ever been a fire-breathing dragon, Brad? When have you ever been that?
I don't know.
You could have been that if you were playing Spyro. This
He's
whole
like
time.
a puny one, though. Who cares? He's like a little kid.
puny. Damiani, Crash or Spyro?
Man, after seeing more Crash recently, I'd say Crash is trash now.
Oh,
wait.
Damn.
That is not how I expected that sentence to end. Everybody loves Crash right now. What are you doing?
What
have you seen?
I saw some bridge stage. It looked like a nightmare.
They're all bridge stages.
I saw horrible controls. I was like, maybe Spyro deserves a chance. I never played Spyro, the original one. So
You saw horrible controls?
Oh yeah.
Did you just say that?
Yeah, I saw them.
You saw
I saw it.
horrible
I
controls.
saw people trying to move Crash Bandicoot down a thing.
Yeah.
And there was a combination of bad controls, shady hit detection to the max.
I'll vouch for that.
Yeah, there's some weird things going on in that Crash game that didn't look like it made people too happy.
Wow.
That's Crash 1. Aren't the other ones better?
It gets better.
Talking about Crash 1.
Absolutely. Crash 3 rules. And Crash 2 is an improvement. It's interesting to play that trilogy because you see Naughty Dog improve upon themselves in ways that you don't ever always see between sequels where they're willing to rethink things.
In that game is
impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it. You simply can't do it.
No.
If you beat the level, you got lucky, but
You got a little lucky there. Just a little bit.
Thank you.
No. It's possible to speedrun. It's
So
possible to be great.
Spyro, for everything I saw about it, looked like more open 3D platformer. So probably have
Or
a
your
better-
cup of tea, probably.
Probably
Yeah.
have a better time with that.
Jones.
Oh, if I say Spyro, I get my Skylanders. So Spyro all day.
Come on, Jones.
Panel, you are killing me right now.
What? I picked Crash.
Jones picks, it's your reasons. Jones picks Spyro just for Skylanders.
Look at him. Just bobbing his
I
head.
mean, I can go back. I never played the old Spyro games, so I can go back and play those and enjoy them.
Oh,
All right,
it's so
Jones,
funny.
I'm
But-
gonna make you rationalize it. Why Skylanders? Why though? What makes that good? Why would you pick that?
Skylanders to me is like Diablo. It's a fun game where you can kind of turn your brain off a little bit and just run around and smash stuff.
Why don't you just play Diablo though? Why would you pick Skylanders over Diablo?
Because it's not Crash or Spyro or Diablo.
No, Jones, I know for a
Between
fact,
those two.
in the past 12 months, you've played more Skylanders than you have Diablo.
Correct.
Why? Why though? Explain that. I don't. I'm not saying that's wrong. I want to know why.
To me, I don't have a good excuse. I probably should be playing Diablo. I guess maybe it's because if I don't, I mean, this isn't like one of the factors, but it is a factor for me, is that like if I'm not playing Skylanders, none of the allies are. Skylanders has zero representation.
I get that.
Where like I do feel that way sometimes when like there is a very popular game. Like I'm sure I would have fun with that, but like I'm just curious about this other thing because none of the other allies are talking about it. I don't have a lot of people around me in my gaming group, my friend group that like I can bounce these ideas off of. I love those figures. And to me, it's just kind of the whimsicalness of it. It's just like, if I'm playing something like Diablo, actually, I would be a little more concerned. If I'm playing co-op, it's like, okay, I do got to do a good job because this is a Blizzard game. This is a new modern game.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, again, Skylanders just like no stress at all.
I
Just
got
kinda-
this, baby.
Play
That's
Diablo
fine.
on easy, man. Cruising.
Or that, yeah.
Jones, do you hope the series comes back? It's so weird that they took the year off. It's so weird to me, and I wonder if it's really just done.
It probably is.
Wow.
I would put my vote that Dimensions is over and Skylanders over. We're done. Yeah. Toys of Life. It was fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Toys of Life.
Fun
But-
few years. Yeah, toys.
No, we got
a fun little trend there.
that spaceship game.
Amiibo's
coming out.
never going away ever.
Ubisoft?
Yeah. Do you think spaceship game will not take off?
Spaceship game? What?
The Ubisoft one was
Yeah,
it?
Starlance. What's it called?
Oh, Starlink.
Starlink.
I think Starlink is interesting. I hope it's successful. I would not say it would take off. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is an awesome pun there.
Yeah.
With Starlink.
Thank you, Johns. I'm very good. I'm known for my puns. Spyro would be my pick. I really like those games. And again, that's a weird one where I like the third one. That's the only one I've played really is the third one.
Oh.
It's cool. It's rare to see a 3D platformer on a
Wasn't
PlayStation
Elijah
1.
Wood Spyro?
Yeah, later on.
Oh,
later
okay.
on.
Was there Spyro on PS2?
Yeah, that's when
Oh.
Spyro's serious, and that's where Elijah Wood comes
Serious?
in. Yeah, dude. Oh,
What?
yeah.
Okay.
It's like Legacy of Spyro, I think is the name of that.
This is my legacy.
This is my legacy. And wrong direction takes Spyro indefinitely. Just remember how fun it is, everyone. Even if he's dinky, it's cool to be a dragon who shoots flames out of his mouth. That's fun. And you could burn sheep.
And he glides too. Doesn't he have a nice
That's
like?
fun.
Oh,
like
the glide's great.
Yeah, glides always feel
And
good.
so just like with Crash, it's fun to break boxes.
Why
With
don't you
Spyro,
play
it's fun to burn
Lair? You
things.
can ride on a dragon then.
I want to be a dragon, Brad.
Okay, is that the deal breaker?
That's a deal breaker between
right.
riding a dragon and being a dragon.
But there's so many better dragon games out there.
what better
Panzer
dragon?
Dragoon.
I think you're riding in Panzer as well.
Yeah, you're
You
riding
are.
on. Just
Yeah.
play a better game.
I want to be a dragon. Let's do this.
Heated. Short
Someone
question.
send Kyle all the good dragon games.
Send me all the good dragon games. Hey allies,
Hey,
I've grown out of JRPGs and it bums me out. Are Japanese game developers not keeping up with their maturing audiences? Or am I just not the target market anymore? This really came into focus for me when playing Valkyria Chronicles. This is a game about being in the midst of war, and yet my characters are all bubbly and cheerful. I'm excited for you, Damiani. People are shot multiple times without any reaction or consequences, not to mention any blood, and the script seems to be written for children. Michael Damiani.
wow.
It was just absurd to me, and I don't understand why this is never discussed in reviews. It's not the art style that bothers me. It's just the way the game is presented as a whole. Sure, maybe that was the intent of the game for whatever reason, but I feel that many games have that sort of issue. Fire Emblem is another example where the overall tone of the characters and script are so dissonant from the themes of the game that it's just silly, tongue on his Snickers again, and feels like it could be much better if it were taken more seriously. There was a time when some JRPGs were more mature in tone and writing, Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story, etc., but that seems to have faded away in favor of fan service and over-the-top anime-esque interactive cartoons. Am I being too cynical? Have I just gotten too old? Love and respect, Will.
Ben Moore would have broken something already.
Yeah.
Yeah. This argument analogy gets brought up not just in JRPG games, but in anime as well.
Yeah.
I want to bring it up because it seems to be...
Get closer to the microphone.
Oh, sorry. It is a very popular thing of discourse in why people... So, it's not completely just an age thing. I do think it's partly if you've played a lot of them and you've gotten older, you start to notice that like certain tropes, certain things keep recurring and recurring. It kind of grates on you. The person mentioning older JRPGs, I'm going to assume that's where they started.
Right.
So those were, you're basically getting some of the best in the PS1 and early PS2 era, or Super Nintendo era, like the 90s were like the golden age of like JRPGs for a lot of people. And same thing with anime. Like a lot of people reference like shows in the 80s to like 90 through the 90s up through probably around like Cowboy Bebop, and they're like, oh, I loved all these shows. I love Dragon Ball, I love Cowboy Bebop, I love Evangelion, I loved like any of these shows from back then. And then you start getting in the 2000s, like everything started turning to this. It's because it got popular. The scene exploded. There's more of it out there. There's way more JRPGs now than there ever was.
Yeah.
Like there's so many of them. You're getting exposed to a lot of the not so great ones. Like it's easier to like play one that's not so good. They're not all going to be winners.
Yeah. What about these remarks about Valkyria?
So yeah, that's the other thing. Like I feel like. I mean, these games are a certain style, so if you've gotten older and it obviously it's clear that these games are, trying to like not be as serious about like a subject matter, then it kind of like it affects you in a way that like, all right, well, I know better now. Like I'm not like a kid anymore who's like, oh yeah, sure, it could be cool. Like that's a cool idea. Like putting a spin on it.
Are you challenging the premise that maybe Final Fantasy Tactics and Vagrant Story weren't this serious?
I mean, I think they have their goofy moments as well. Like, I mean, they both games, Valkyria does as well. I think this person's probably just been so exposed to so much of that in the past, and the ones that came first get better placement in their mind about, like, everyone does this. Like, oh, nostalgia, like, those games were better. I played them first. They were the first ones to show me they could do this. Any games that come after it are at that disadvantage because they're not unique anymore. So Valkyria Chronicles, a lot of people is not very unique. I mean, it's the art style. A lot of people see the art style and the gameplay mechanics like, oh, this is a unique game. Not many games do this.
Yeah.
When you start getting into the story and stuff, like I remember in my room, like, oh, there's a lot of typical cliche things here. So if you're worried about that, it's there. It's gonna be there. You're gonna have to put up with some of that. Don't let that detract from the rest of the experience, though, of the game. Like, it's good. It does do some admirable things in terms of tackling like themes in war. It tries to do a sort
but it doesn't show blood.
I mean, that's probably more for ratings, I'm gonna guess. Like, to not show blood in it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the real reason why they don't show blood in it, but it tries to attempt to at least have some discourse about the Holocaust. Like, the game has.
Wait,
like,
does it really go there?
There's
man?
a race called the Darkson that are being systematically
his sister,
like genocide and killed by the Empire, basically. And they're like, they don't ever say it that way, but like the visuals and the stuff that's presented to you, it's like they all have the same color hair, like they, this dark blue hair, like they're blamed, they're the scapegoats for why everything failed in the Empire before, and why it's clearly like an analogy to that. They just did their best to, I think, be delicate about it and not go over the top so that like it's slapping in your face. It tried to have a game that tried to tackle that in some fashion.
Yeah.
That wasn't a literal World War II game where it's
Right.
like we've heard it sucks. It's horrible. But so many games go into that and just do the same thing over and over again.
So
it was interesting to see someone try to like I think it's going for a different audience than like who goes for hardcore FPS games. And to see that incorporated in there, it's like, oh, you're still being exposed to that.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Jones.
It maybe waters it down. But.
Have you ever seen a game with like an anime aesthetic that you just said no to? You said not for me.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. I don't naturally gravitate towards JRPGs. A JRPG was the first RPG I ever played, and it's a game I'm finishing this week, actually, Final Fantasy VI.
And one of your favorite games of all time.
One of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
But to me, that fit kind of more into a classic game, kind of regardless of whether you had a JRPG style or not. On the Super Nintendo, you had little pixelated characters typically, you know. And so like, I think now with technology the way it is, like there's so much more, you know, broad directions that you can take a style in. But
it's interesting, Jones. I almost think they would have looked anime-esque if they had the capabilities. I mean, they did. Final Fantasy VII is like, okay, we're anime now, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think that those 6 sprites were up to more interpretation, and then I think that just technically that was what the games always were almost.
I try to be very cautious whenever I talk about my opinions about Japanese style, because I think if someone wants to ask me about that, I will offer that up. But then it's like, if you want to take those and throw them immediately in the garbage, please do it, because I'm commenting on something that I do not have a lot of experience in, that I do not generally gravitate towards. So why the hell does anybody want my opinion on it?
Yeah.
But it's why I'm not playing 15, because I don't care about any of those people.
Let me ask you
because
about
those people look pretty and they have an interesting style.
Dude, Prompto looks pretty.
But
get out of here. No, he doesn't.
Are you with his hair?
Yeah.
Like Prompto is not made to look attractive. Are you nuts? Prompto's not made to look stylish and cool, like in every single position that you see him in, where it's like, it's really hot outside. Those guys look hot in black leather. And in Japanese games, it's like, no, just get out of that mindset of like,
no,
that
they totally get hot.
That these are practical.
They say it's hot out and it
people
sucks.
living in this world.
And if you're in a temple for too long, they get dirty and nasty, and they're like, man, it's time for a shower.
Yeah, don't they wear black all the time because it's part of their like royal uniform?
Right,
or
there's
something?
that too. Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. Let me ask you about Persona 5. Which I would say has an even like clearer anime aesthetic.
But to me, I'm kind of. I think the difference is it's like when they're like, no, this is a realistic world, and the style's kind of pulling me away from that. And I think I don't get the vibe from Persona 5 that they're like, the relationships are real, but this world is crazy. You know, like this world is not. You're not like, that's what high school was like for me. It's like, no, I didn't have nightmares and go into crazy prison areas and have cats talking to me. Like that's not, you know. Whereas like one of the things that I think is that I do think the JRPGs are. From the ones that I've played and the ones that I've seen that are maybe a little bit further ahead than a lot of the role-playing games in the West, is like for Persona 5, talking about suicide, talking about abuse, talking about like some issues that are affecting youth that like don't necessarily come up in games unless it's a Call of Duty or a Skyrim or something. That like that if I walked in and saw my kid playing, was like, whoa, what are you're playing Call of Duty? No, you're not, like, this game looks too brutal. I don't want you to play this.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
If you walk in and you see your kid playing Valkyria Chronicles, it's like you're not gonna be like, wait, no, this game that looks like World War II and it's like they have like these, you know, old school type guns and it kind of seems like colorful and cheerful.
Yeah.
That I think it's admirable actually to have to write a game, because they said it's like, oh, it seemed like it was written for kids. It's like, well, like Dummy was saying, there's some very heavy lessons in that game.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of cool that like a kid will go in being like, oh, this is it's a difficult tactical game, but the aesthetic, I love how colorful and joyful it is. And then 10 hours in, the kid's like, whoa,
yeah.
This is heavier than I thought it would be.
It's a spoonful of sugar.
Yeah. But again, the colorfulness of that war is kind of incongruous to me. Like, is a reason I didn't immediately jump into that, because it's
so
like
you're kind of
it's a little tougher for me to get into those characters, because I feel that the style of that character is given much more attention than the actual believability of the character.
Yeah. Brad. Get in on this. Have games changed? Have JRPGs changed? Or have people changed? Has Jones changed?
Everything's changed.
Okay.
Everything has
Good
changed.
answer. Yeah.
I mean, JRPG, like, Souls games are JRPGs technically.
Yeah, and I was wanting to bring that up a little bit, but you know, we bring up Souls too much. But
good reason.
Yeah, that game doesn't have the bubbliness that you despise so much.
That game is brutal.
Yeah.
All the themes in those games are very messed up and dark.
Mm-hmm. And the delivery is pretty, like, oh, I love the delivery of those games.
It takes itself seriously.
Yeah.
But it does, there is humor in them, obviously, but it's really weird, good humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel this person just needs to have a better look for someone like a reviewer or like a YouTuber or something that they trust that like could help, you know, kind of point them in the direction of the types of JRPGs they would like
Yeah.
looking for that style, because there is so much to sift through.
Yeah.
Just to have a curator, basically, like the person they trust, to be like, hey, there's this new JRPG coming out. It's very much like a Vagrant Story type game. So if you like Vagrant Story, you should definitely check out this one here.
By the way, nothing like Vagrant Story is coming out. It's crazy.
I'm saying, but
yeah.
It's something like that. I think it's just, if you're just trying to like sit through it yourself, through all the information that's out there, because there's just how many there are. Yes, there are ones that are like just fan service JRPGs.
For sure, yeah.
There's ones that are like gonna be like the more bubbly. They're gonna be, it's a wide spectrum now that's represented out there in JRPGs. I feel like it's just a sense of being overwhelmed, and also, as I said earlier, I think as you get older, you kind of know what you like. You still want some surprises, but you can more readily tell, I think, that something isn't going to be like, you'd rather not jump into that. You're looking for something else. You know your preferences and stuff.
I think of Resident Evil going in a proper direction. I don't want to say proper. That's incorrect for me to make that judgment. But going in a more serious direction is something to be encouraged by, to see that. Because I was thinking about Parasite Eve in this conversation, where there was that weird sequel where like her clothes rip off.
Third Birthday?
And when you're talking, Damiani, when you're talking about like fan servicey, like it does kind of ruin the entire concept of having this protagonist and having this kind of serious game that Parasite Eve once was, to just do stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I think at that time they were like, hey, we got to sell copies of this. We can't be Bob Dylan. We gotta sell copies, and I think maybe that was what that was about. But yeah, with Resident Evil 7, it's like, you know what? Let's do a darker game. Let's not have it action heavy. Let's try to do that kind of thing. Let's be more serious. Let's make a game that Will would like, and I think that they kind of pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, but there are just as many people who like the different styles out there.
Yes.
So I think it's overall better, because for whatever reason, if you're just really into like Moe style stuff and you want that like JRPG with like Moe looking characters, there's something for you out there. There's definitely something you can go get out there if you're into that.
If you like Digimon, you got it.
There's stuff like Souls games that we talked about. You want that like super dark, serious, really like gruesome at times. It's better.
Especially Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's a good time, but at the same time, not all of them are gonna be good. So that's why I was saying, like, you should try and find the curator who could point you towards more of the games in the style that you're looking for, and the ones that actually will be good.
Yeah.
Because
I think there's out there, and I think there's reason to believe that there will be more. But your observation is not without merit. I think there's totally like goofier games and things like that.
Yeah.
I like Jones. You know what I mean? I can't tell Jones that he's wrong for not playing Final Fantasy 15.
And I'm not saying Final Fantasy 15 is a bad game.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just
he just doesn't like
my dumb
it just
culture
doesn't appeal to him.
Trip. Yeah,
it's fine.
I get you.
plus Ignis is best boy.
Ignis is your pick?
That's right.
Whoa.
Prompto. Just like at the Fan Made panel. I said down with Prompto.
Whoa. Oh yeah, and there was a Prompto cosplayer in the crowd who was not there at the end of the panel.
I do remember that. Wow, that's so funny.
Damiani trashes on Prompto unprovoked. Nobody said like, "What do you think of Prompto?" It was just like Damiani for some reason is trashing on Prompto, and like there's a guy just dressed as Prompto in the crowd. It's like, all right.
Should have just given you the finger and walked away. That would have been great.
Asked me to take photos.
Okay, let's do our last one. Let's make it fun. Here we go.
Let's
More
do it.
hypothetical games. This is fun. Hey, allies. Star Fox 2 for the SNES Mini got me thinking. The 16-bit era is my favorite personal favorite gaming era.
That's good.
I love nice-looking 2D pixel art games. I've played everything worth playing in the SNES Genesis, a TG16 library. I want more games from that era. I want a new 16-bit Zelda. I want a new 16-bit Final Fantasy. I want a 16-bit direct sequel to Chrono Trigger. If Nintendo were to release a brand new 16-bit console, what games would the allies want most? You know, we'll conclude second there too. What's TG16?
TurboGrafx.
Yep.
Why does it have to be a new console then?
Because they're new games that are limited. You're right. You know, if they can
give me
release
some
this
16-bit on the
stuff,
Switch, baby.
Love and respect, Dave from Australia. Let's do it. Jones, what you got?
So we
16-bit
rules.
sequel.
So
sequel
to a franchise is 16-bit.
It's like how Mega Man 9 and 10 were. But we're talking 16-bit.
I'm ready.
Oh, Brad's ready to go. Let's go, Brad.
Super Mario World, new one.
Oh, sequel.
So wait, are we continuing off Yoshi's Island, which was technically a sequel?
No.
Okay.
That was a prequel, technically.
Yeah, but I mean that was.
I know it was a number 2, but
Yeah. So what's
me
your
the
game?
story.
What is it?
I want a new 16-bit Mario game.
Okay.
What a no-brainer. You kidding me?
So are we on vacation again? Are we on some island, some dinosaur
No, we're on a
islands?
new land, yeah.
Okay.
New land.
Give me something, Brad.
New villain.
Because I need...
Brand new villain.
Whoa.
Someone Bowser knows is intimidated by, too.
Oh, that's how you start the game.
Yeah.
Bowser's rival.
Yes. Okay.
What? New Super RPG.
Yeah.
Just literally every Super Nintendo RPG. Boom.
Yeah.
All of them.
So safe answer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't even have to pursue a question like that. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, a Mario RPG, but a sequel to that. Like, okay, got it. Damiani.
I was also leaning towards a Super Mario RPG 2, like a proper one, not Paper Mario. Nothing wrong with Paper Mario games. Just okay.
I don't know if we're picking that up on the microphone.
Sorry.
What is it?
Probably. We're almost done. I can close the door.
That's the cat in heat.
Okay, as long as it's in heat and not in distress.
Oh, no, it's just in heat, yeah. She's just looking for some tonight.
Oh. Jeez, Kyle.
She's just looking for some love, man.
I mean, I thought you were gonna go different. The question could go a different direction because like Star Fox 2 was unique in that it was like almost pretty much finished. This didn't
Yeah,
release
like what
it.
canceled games would you like to
That
see?
actually made me think about like canceled games and stuff like that, and like I almost forgot about it. We were talking about SNES Classic like 2 weeks ago. I was like the whole BS satellite, the BSX Super Nintendo add-on in Japan, the satellite
Zelda
thing.
one?
The Zelda,
Explain
yeah,
that one more
the
time.
BS Zelda games.
'Kay.
I was like, oh my gosh, that was like a huge opportunity to like re-release those.
Roll
and-
it back and explain a lot about BSX.
Okay.
What is this?
In Japan, there was an add-on for the Super Nintendo, kind of like Sega CD and all the others, the
32X.
32X thing.
Sega TV.
Well, it looked more like 32X and CD type things. Called the Bandai Satellaview, and it's abbreviated BSX. So if you ever see like Zelda BS or BS Zelda, like that's what it's referring to.
I never see that. but okay.
It was a.
You never heard of this?
I have heard of this.
Oh.
There was a satellite service was provided by a company called Saint Giga, and you would get the satellite would beam the signal with basically to download games off
Yeah.
the service, and one of them was both the original Legend of Zelda for NES, but it was updated like Super Nintendo, Super Famicom style visuals.
Whoa.
And had like day-night
And that's
cycles.
just gone?
I mean, you could get ROMs that are the closest to the complete version that you could play. It's based on bits of data that some people somehow still had somehow.
Yeah.
I said somehow twice like that. Sorry. And then there is the one based on A Link to the Past.
This one I'm aware of.
That's the original one is called BS, like BS The Legend of Zelda. And then there's one, its abbreviation in English is Ancient Stone Tablets, and you played as one of the mascots from the service, which is a boy or girl with like a cap or whatever. And the Link to the Past one, its story was immediately after the events of A Link to the Past. Link had traveled off and was gone, and Zelda sensed that Ganon was going to try and come back.
Is this canon? Who is it made by? Who made this?
I mean, Nintendo.
No.
Yeah.
Nintendo developed this weird satellite game just for like a...
Yeah. Not only that,
Miyamoto.
it is the first Zelda game to actually have voice acting in it.
Get out of town.
Because it had a narrator.
No.
Zelda. Oh, yeah.
This is incorrect. This is
And
just wrong.
This happens a lot, I feel
there was like an old man voice who would give you clues.
That's
but here's
so
the
cool.
catch.
Okay.
You didn't download it. You weren't supposed to like keep it downloaded.
Right.
It was only like during the broadcast. So it was like more like television style.
Okay. Yeah.
You had like a timer. You had an hour to make progress. And then you have to come back then. I forgot to say this in the episode, by the way. This
Great.
is new information.
Second chance.
You had to come back next week at that same scheduled time to start up again and try and advance further in the story of the game.
It's hilarious how bad this idea was.
But like,
It's so exciting too.
people like loved it, and so I don't know if they loved it.
People loved it. No, I would love that too. Like, oh no, it's
But
Thursday,
those
9 p.m. I gotta go.
were
I
never
gotta go play
released
that.
a standalone game, so yeah, that was like, man,
That's a great answer.
this was the Star Fox 2. Cool, they finished it, but like that game, those games would have been because there were like two versions of the original Zelda, and then Ancient Stone Tablets might have had two maps. I forget. I apologize. But anyway, so yeah, 16-bit, new 16-bit Zelda.
Cool.
Link Between Worlds was great, but like I want the sprite art
Sure.
version, despite how Kyle thinks they're bad.
Go ahead, Jones.
Jones.
Super
ahead.
Castlevania 5.
I was about to say...
Nailed it.
if you didn't get it, I was going to
Super Castlevania 4 based on the original Castlevania. Super Castlevania 5 based on Castlevania 3. So you can
Dracula's
play
Curse.
as Trevor and Alucard and the thief and the mage whose names...
Grant.
Grant and
You're so on top of this. So,
Grant Dynasty. Yeah.
so Jones, there's no Metroidvania to this.
No
right?
Metroidvania.
No.
This is that classic
With
slog, level by
stages.
level by level by
Yeah.
level by level. Get to the
Castlevania
castle,
3 has
go up,
multiple
up, 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 up.
routes you can
Yeah.
choose from.
But we're not like exploring a single castle.
Correct.
And
Yeah. And it is hard.
Okay.
Very difficult.
Great.
Yep.
Nailed it, Jones. I was thinking like a lot of the games that I would answer to this, I'd actually like to have modernized. So it's actually kind of hard. And I think that's why you nailed it with Castlevania. I think like, yeah, exactly. It should look exactly like that. Because like I was saying Sunset Riders,
Ooh, love Sunset Riders.
but I'd so much rather just have a new Sunset Riders game.
But I would want it to look like that though.
You want a 16-bit style?
Do you want it like looking like Bloodstain? Like that kind of art style? Like
No, dude.
think about what it would look like
it's
nowadays.
not 2D, baby.
What?
It's not 2D,
What?
baby.
There's only room for one other Western game, and it's Red Dead.
No, because it's not like Red Dead. I'm still going just shooting my shotgun nonstop.
Red Dead, dude, you're like going boom, 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 boom.
But it's
No.
not like an arcade game.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm bounty hunting. That's it.
But
All
it's
I'm doing
gotta
is
be
hunt
16-bit.
bounties. What's up?
it's got to be 16-bit.
That's the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not.
So yours
that.
is okay.
So it's
not
just
that.
the 2D?
I don't know. I don't like. It's weird that you say it's everyone else's favorite generation. So when I skipped, I never had a 16-bit console. And so it's weird. You know, I played a lot of these games eventually later, but I don't have that same like equal attachment to that era in particular. So I don't know. Donkey Kong Country 4.
Oh, yeah. Great pick, dude.
All right, we got out of it.
Good pick.
That has been the Love and Respect only episode of the Easy Allies podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in and tuning in on that one. If you don't know what Easy Allies is, Jones, I did the last one. You take this one. Yeah. What is
Easy Allies is a group of 9 gentlemen. 4 are seated here. We have 5 others. We alternate the 2 seats in the middle here on the podcast. So if you keep watching us, if this is your first episode, there will be other people. If you don't like these 2, we'll change it out.
Understandable. Understandable.
But we are entirely crowdfunded. That means that we exist solely by the financial support of our amazing audience. There's many ways you can do that. You can do that by watching us on YouTube. You can do that by subscribing to us on Twitch. But the easiest, the best, the most helpful way, the one that we recommend, is going to patreon.com/easyallies. We have various tiers and various rewards. We have goals, things we are trying to aspire to. Our next goal on the list is to have a studio, is to move out of this space, out of my garage, and actually get into an office, get into a professional studio, build one from the ground up. And you can potentially help us get there if you go to patreon.com/easyallies. If you go there, you can submit love and respect questions. It was a real word, but it was a combination of 2 different words I was trying to say. Love and request. You can submit your own questions at the $5 and or above tier, and you will also get the podcast early. Instead of getting it on Fridays, you will get it on Wednesdays. And that is just a small taste of the many rewards that you can get if you donate to us at the various tiers. But like I said before, it's what we are the 6,000 plus people that give us money on patreon.com are the reason that we get to still do this. And so we are eternally grateful to them, and will be to you if you decide to make that jump as well.
Cool.
Nice.
This has been a Love and Respect only episode. Next week, we'll be back to the news. We'll be back to what's happening. I know
2 weeks worth of news.
a bunch of crazy stuff has
spicy
happened.
news.
Yeah, there's been
Stacked.
some spicy stuff. We got so many tweets where it's like, are you going to talk about this? And I had to say, no. It's Love and Respect only this week. I know that happened. What's wrong?
So you're gonna miss all the Evo reveals. Lame.
Wait, Evo reveals?
New character reveals.
Go talking to the mic. What do you got? What's
Of course,
going
there's
on?
gonna be like a new Dragon Ball character.
Oh, there will be a new Dragon Ball Fighters.
There's actually probably gonna be
announced.
2.
They're gonna show Piccolo.
There'll be one at Evo, and then one the following week at San Diego Comic Con. So when you come back, you'll have 2 new.
Are you willing to? I don't like to do hindsight bets.
Oh
but
man,
I wanna
Comic-Con's before the next episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we'll have big news, baby. Damiani,
Monster Hunter?
do you believe that there will be a Super Street Fighter V announced at Evo? Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Nope. That's a big no. We'll see one new character. That's my guess. Is we'll see a new character for Street Fighter V as well.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? I guess.
Oh yeah, we totally will. Sorry.
Yeah, we're halfway
Forgot.
through season 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll happen. Yeah, you're right. That'll be fun. So, okay, look forward to the next episode of the Easy Allies podcast. We'll have lots to talk about, lots to sift through. Until then, thank you so much. Who wants to do sign off? Brad.
Yeah,
Me?
Brad.
Yeah,
Clearly,
that's
Brad.
Do I want the energy on it, or do I want a different take?
Ooh, okay, give us a different take.
okay.
Give us a different take.
Fuck the Republic and fuck the Senate. Fire.
I am enjoying these microtransactions.